How's it going, everybody? RazingHel here, and today we're going to be playing the 4th mission in the Saladin mini-campaign in Stronghold Crusader HD, called the Horns of Hattin, Battle on the Hill.
Saladin makes his move on Jerusalem, and the Europeans' main force comes to meet him. Believing they can replenish their supplies later, the Europeans pass through the desert hills without water.
Saracen forces have the Europeans incumbent trapped on a hill with no water. Although we are outnumbered, the enemy is demoralized, so this will be an evenly matched battle. Many of their religious and military leaders are in the camp, so a victory here would be a devastating blow for them.
Let's get started. The objective is to simply kill the enemy lord. Okay, so as you can see right here is the encampment, basically, that needs to be taken over. And we're given a few troops to do it with. We're, of course, not going to be allowed to build more additional units. This is strictly a military campaign in every sense of the word, or like a siege campaign. You're given an allotted amount of troops, and then you're tasked to take various strategic points with it, be it castles, or in this case, it's just basically a camp on top of a hill. So I'm going to be approaching this from the right side. You can alternatively do it from the left side. There's really no strict way to go about it. For example, there might actually be a case to be made where there is an advantage approaching it from the left because you'll be able to shoot from this hill up here down onto those archers, but that was just the way I went about doing it. I don't necessarily think there's a right or wrong way, but I'm just making you aware that there are different viable strategies, basically. As you can see, there's a hole right there behind those rocks, and we're basically just going to run in here, hopefully not lose too many of, because there's some macemen right there, lose too many of these horse archers to those enemy archers that were firing at me. And then maybe we can also bait those macemen out. So there are a group of macemen right here. And if we start shooting at them, they might come running at us or not. They're not running. Okay, they're just going to stand there and get killed then. It doesn't appear any of the crossbows have aggroed onto my horse archers either, so for the moment we can just leave everything there. Now, this episode sort of introduces the player to the fire thrower, which is a unit that in the campaign had not been seen before. I would say the unfortunate thing about this is fire throwers are really a defensive unit, and there's not much use for them as an offensive unit, so by and large, it was an opportunity that basically went to waste. Okay, that crossbow has aggroed. Okay, let's try to get him this time. Come on, shoot the cross. No! I have no idea. Okay, there come the... Yeah, I think we got the crossbow, but now we've got these macemen running after us. Since there were only 2 left, though, that's not going to be an issue. And then I'm also going to move the slingers up. I basically moved them along the edge of the map so I didn't have to worry about them accidentally catching the fire of these crossbowmen here, because there are crossbowmen positioned along the entirety of this wall here, both levels of it, the low wall as well as the high wall. So I think what the developers or whoever designed this scenario were attempting to accomplish here was to introduce players to how fire throwers can be used when attacking a castle, basically to burn down an economy. You might recall in the last episode we saw what the developers intended you to use the slave unit for. This is a similar thing where you are expected to use these fire throwers to set stuff on fire. The problem being, fire throwers have a very terrible range. No, run. Yes, okay. He's going to get killed, isn't he? Okay, we got to take out that crossbow, and let's get in a little bit closer here. Hopefully the horse archers will shoot at them. The tactic that you use when you... How we got a pikeman after us? Oh, my goodness. Still haven't taken out that crossbow. The tactic you generally want to use with horse archers is to make them move or change directions basically as much as possible, because that way when a crossbow locks onto you and fires a bolt, if you move out of the path that you are initially going to enter, that means that you will not take any damage. It'll miss you entirely. So we've got this fire thrower here within range. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to light... Yep, there we go. Light the stuff on fire. And you might notice they actually put pitch under it. So normally this would never happen. You're not going to normally be able to set an entire castle on fire like this simply by burning down the brush that basically surrounds it. The reason this worked is because there was pitch hidden in there. Unfortunately, you might notice it really didn't do any damage. None of the buildings actually started on fire because of the pitch, and very few, if any, of the units actually took damage from the pitch. So in that regard, I think it was entirely failed as a concept, or whatever they were hoping to accomplish by actually allowing the fire throwers, because they obviously went out of their way to add fire throwers. Oh, there was a crossbowman. Yeah, we got two. Okay, he's down. They obviously had some idea in mind for the fire throwers, but it just really wasn't fully realized because it doesn't do anything besides burn a whole bunch of the brush that's sitting around. So kind of a hit and miss situation, or a hit or miss. It's kind of a swing and a miss. There we go. Looking mixed metaphors and all that. Yeah, swing and miss. So they kind of went for a theme that I think is cool, but what ended up happening was they didn't test it properly or something, and then we ended up with our current situation. Okay. Probably go, oh boy, there was a knight. There is a knight chasing us, oh my goodness. Let's see if we can... I hope he's not faster. No, he's going back, okay. We can also get these swordsmen up here a little bit closer, these Arabian swordsmen. That way, in case we have a whole bunch of units chasing us again, we can just run past the Arabian swordsmen, and they will intercept the units that are chasing us, basically. Because there are some macemen over here. Just looking. Want to make sure they're... okay, the macemen see. The macemen are chasing us now. I was just looking for more crossbows. I don't think there are any, so we're pretty secure over here. There is this archer, though, on the other side of a woodcutter's hut that I want to get rid of. Because, oh, there is that knight again. No, 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 no. No, no. Don't do that. Don't do that. We are taking damage from crossbows now. And this is not a position I wanted to be in. I forgot about that knight. The knight is hidden up there. Keep that in mind. Whenever you're doing this kind of stuff, there is a knight hidden up there. You can just barely see him. So yeah, one of those things, you know. I wonder what are the odds I can hit him from up here. Like if I send... Oh, he would just come running over? It's interesting. I have whittled about half of his health down simply by shooting at him, but obviously that's far from ideal. Well, this is really turning into quite a waste of time, isn't it? That's interesting. It's like the pathfinding can't or won't let the knight go out of a certain range to get at my horse archers. He just keeps running back. Huh. Okay, well, if that's not going to be a problem then, I guess we can move on to bigger and better things. Let's light this woodcutter's hut on fire here. Can we do that? No, I didn't want you to attack it. I want you to light it on fire. Come on, baby, light my fire. That's another thing about those fire throwers. They're so inaccurate. The knight still is not dead. Okay, the knight's dead now. Yeah, those fire throwers, they have such a wide range. When you tell them to throw fire somewhere, they really have a long range they can throw it. They could even throw it right at their own feet and set themselves on fire. So they're really not a unit that you want to use anywhere outside of situations with walls. Like, they should be on the walls at all times. So it's a bit unfortunate, you know, for a military campaign or a siege campaign. I'm not exactly sure what would be the best term for it. So we burnt that down, the woodcutter's hut. And that's another thing, like when you're using the fire throwers, you have to keep in mind that if you click the attack here button and they actually aren't within range of whatever it is that you want to attack, they will, instead of throwing fire bombs, they'll actually move to that range so that well, not move to that range, they'll move to that building and then attack it, which might or might not be what exactly you had in mind. Okay, get those, get that swordsman. No, don't kill me. No, oh no! Lighting my own army on fire there. Great way to shoot yourself in the foot. So there are a lot of swordsmen over there, but we do have some grass, so let's go ahead and try to light this brush on fire as well. We tried that over here, didn't work too well, as you saw. Didn't do any damage to buildings, to units. One of those things. Okay, light this stuff on fire. Oh, there we go. This time at least the farm's caught on fire, but yeah, you can see the pitch. You can see the lines where the pitch were set to burn things, and they don't. They don't light stuff on fire, I don't think. Either that or there's a well around here somewhere. Oh, this one actually might have lit some buildings on fire. It did. So unlike the other one, which was sort of a blunt fuse or a dud of a fuse, this one actually lit some buildings on fire. I guess it just goes to prove that if you're approaching from a particular side, maybe you should do it from the left. Huh. Yeah, this fire might actually spread a bit. I'm not sure. The buildings themselves are fairly removed from one another, so that might not be possible. Okay. Enough monkeying around. This dude needs to start running right now, or he's going to get caught. Okay, I'm going to bring the horse archers back, and didn't one just die? No. Probably was... No, whoa, 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 no, 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 guys. Get out of there. Nope. Hopefully these Arabian swordsmen can deal with... No! No, they're going to kill. He's going to kill my horse archers. Need to group them up with the hotkeys, probably. Yeah, so you can select all of one type of unit on the screen simply by double-clicking on that unit type, and that's usually what I use to control units because I don't have to be constantly remapping them to different hotkeys. The hotkeys are useful if they're going to be off the screen, but as long as the units are relatively small, like this, I only have this small troop of horse archers here, it's easy enough just to double-click on one unit and then select all of them of that type on the screen. I generally prefer that. I mean, obviously, it can be a little bit more picky. Like, there's nothing's going to beat the reliability, I think, of actual hotkeys, but it's good enough, I think. You'll find that a lot in life. Some things might not be the absolute best, but they perform good enough that it's really not worth investing in the best. Good grief, these guys do not die. There we go. Okay, so we just want to clear out a couple more of these swordsmen, so that way I can actually... Whoa, that fire has done a lot of damage. Look at that. It really cleared house. I wanted to set some of this other stuff on fire, though. So, trying to bait more of the swordsmen. At this point, I probably could just run my swordsman in there. Let's do that. In the past, what I've actually gone and done is... I mean, I am playing at 90 speed, but I would go ahead and just clear out the entire area of all the units, so all of these units. So I'd basically run the horse archers through over here. That takes a lot of time though. And since I am actually recording this, I think we'll try to wrap this up relatively quickly. I mean, a lot of the swordsmen that are over here have actually been cleaned up, so I'm just going to make a run for it. The thing is, if this fails, I can fall back to my horse archers. All we have to do is kill the Lord. If the Lord is dead, then we win. And there are a lot of crossbowmen here on the walls, but I think we can actually do this if we target the right stuff. Come on, kill him. Get him. Yes. Yes. Okay. So as you can see, not very complicated. If you do it right, the pitch can be a little bit tricky though, so keep that in mind. Otherwise, that pretty much concludes this episode. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.